Coming up on Newswatch 18, the 47th annual Kaleidoquiz was held this weekend. We caught the antics on camera.
Iowa State played host for the statewide spelling bee this year. Find out who will be representing Iowa this year in Washington, D.C.
Big games were played by both the men's and women's basketball teams over the weekend. I'll have more later on in sports.
And right now we do have a little bit of snow working its way out of the state, but mostly clear skies out there for tonight.
This is Newswatch 18.
Milwaukee.
Newswatch 18 starts now.
Good evening and welcome to Newswatch 18. I'm Giovanna Hajon.
And I'm Adam Brower. What can we expect for the sports or weather, Sam?
Well, in weather, we can expect that snow's moved out of our state. Right now, actually, on our graphics machine, I've got the radar pulled up over central Iowa right now. And we do have a few snowflakes wanting to develop over Ames, but they are just lingering from that system, and they're probably not even hitting the ground. So the snow accumulation is basically done for the night. Perhaps in the eastern part of the state, they could see another 1/10 of an inch or so. But for our news, really, just a bit of a warm-up on the way, and I'll tell you more about that during my weather segment.
Thursday, a lecturer will visit Iowa State to discuss the ongoing controversy of global warming. Climatologist Michael E. Mann will focus on the story of science and politics behind controversy. In his lecture, The Hockey Stick and Climate Wars, Dispatches from the Frontline, will be held in the Great Hall of the Memorial Union. It is free and open to the public.
Iowa State entomologist Jeannie Morgul has managed the traveling insect zoo since she took over last May, and she has put her stamp on the program. Morgul spends several days a week packing a traveling zoo to visit classrooms across the state and educate children on insects. The zoo also includes scorpions and tarantulas. Students who attend are given the chance to ask their own questions and come up with their own answers. Morgul says this is one of the most rewarding parts of the experience.
Wordsmiths gathered on campus this past weekend. ISU TV's Chris Cox has more on the story.
Saturday morning had quite the buzz around the Memorial Union for the statewide spelling bee. Xander Reed, 10-year-old fifth grader from Ankeny, was crowned Iowa Spelling Bee champion. ISU's Greenlee School of Journalism and Communication hosted the statewide bee, with 13 contestants from around the state participating. The bee was emceed by Greenlee School professor Tom Beal, with English's John Levis pronouncing. Xander will be representing Iowa at the Scripps National Spelling Bee in May in Washington, D.C. As part of his prize, Xander and a parent will receive hotel and travel accommodations for the National Spelling Bee.
It has many Iowa State students. Okay. Many Iowa State students traded hours of sleep last weekend for what they describe as the quintessential college experience. Ethan Crane, Alyssa Weiss, and I have more.
According to an internationally renowned British fast talker, Velociraptor is to rabbits as text survival horror is to what?
Veterans and rookies of KURE's Kaleidoquiz would be able to answer that question in a matter of minutes. Kaleidoquiz, or KQ, is a quiz marathon and radio contest put on by Iowa State's student radio station, 88.5 KURE. For those unfamiliar to what KQ is, Darren Hushock, KQ committee member, describes it as something familiar to Quiz Bowl, only a bit more intense.
There's one question every 6 minutes, and it lasts for 26 continuous hours. And the questions are probably only a third of it because there's events, scavenger hunts, and then, guessing montages and puzzles and things to do. It's an extravaganza of just zaniness, craziness, and super weird fun.
Rebecca Dickman is a third-year KQ participant and member of Team You Did What to Who for How Many Gummy Bears? She says she started to prepare for the quiz marathon 1 month in advance, but guarantees there's no preparation when it comes to handling with the intensity that is KQ.
The most stressful part is being up for 26 hours straight, but you just keep going with lots and lots of caffeine, and by the end you're just on adrenaline.
KQ participants insist that lack of sleep is one of the many qualities that distinguishes KQ from other campus events and makes it a student favorite.
I
think every part of Kaleidoquiz was the best part. Every part had its great moments. I mean, answering the phones and being kind of snarky with the question answers, and just all the bizarre events and seeing the weird things that all of these people could come up with. I just think all parts of it are fun in their own way.
With Ethan Crane and Alyssa Weiss, Giovanna Hajon, ISU TV.
At the end of Kaleidoquiz, Harwood won first place with a score of over 8,000 points, and Material Advantage won second with over 7,000.
There are several. So what happened in Cyclone sports this week?
Well, I'll have stories from men's and women's basketball coming up after the break. This is Newswatch 18. Welcome back to this exciting edition of Newswatch 18. On Saturday, the Cyclone men took on the Oklahoma Sooners in Norman, Oklahoma. The first time these two teams met back in early February, the Cyclones won by 19 points after leading by 25 at one point in the game. As usual, however, it was a different story for the Clones playing on the road, and this time lost by 17, dropping them to 19-10 on the season. The story of this game was free throw shooting by Oklahoma. The Sooners took an unbelievable 34 free throw attempts and tied an NCAA record by making all 34. It didn't help that the Cardinal and Gold shot 31 three-point shots and only made 11 of them. Tyrus McGee, who was one of the lone bright spots on the night, had an unbelievable shooting performance. He tied a career high with 22 points while shooting 6 of 9 from beyond the arc. A few of those trays came from beyond the NBA three-point range. Boo Paulo also had a good game, scoring a season-high 12 points, something only Ames High alums are used to seeing. This was a big loss for the Cyclones, as their next game will have huge NCAA tournament implications. Number 13, Oklahoma State, comes to town on Wednesday for senior night. A win against the Cowboys will almost surely take the Clones off the NCAA tournament bubble, while a loss will make things very interesting for their tournament hopes. That game will be played at 6 p.m. and can be seen on ESPNU Wednesday night. The ISU women's basketball team played 2 games in 3 days, and both were decided by only 3 points. Unfortunately, the Lady Clones ended up on the losing end of the first. On Saturday, the number 23 Cyclones took on TCU in Fort Worth. After being down by 15 points with just over 12 minutes left in the game, the Clones forged a valiant comeback, but fell short to lowly 9-19 TCU, 58-61, ending Iowa State's undefeated streak in all sports against the Horned Frogs. Poor shooting plagued the Clones in this game. They shot 10 for 36 from three-point range, 16 of 56 overall, and fell to 20-7 with only 1 game left in the regular season. The now unranked Lady Clones played that regular season finale only 2 days later back in Ames against Oklahoma State. The Clones again needed to battle back after falling behind 13 with 18:38 left in the game. This time, however, they came all the way back and won the game 73-70. Sending seniors Anna Prinz and Chelsea Poppins out on top in their final regular season game at Hilton Coliseum. The 2 seniors combined for 33 points on the night as Hallie Christopherson led the way with 21. After being picked as the 6th best team in the Big 12 preseason poll, the Cyclones silenced all the doubters and finished 2nd place in the league with a 12-6 conference record, 21-7 overall. With a first-round bye in the Big 12 tournament, the Cardinal and Gold will play the winner of Friday's Kansas TCU game the following Saturday at 6 p.m. at the American Airlines Center in Dallas, Texas. The Iowa State women's basketball team is having a special season. 2nd in the Big 12, a trio of 1,000-point scorers, and another trip to the NCAA tournament in sight. What's the secret to their success? Mitch Gerber and Matt Van Winkle found out who the Lady Cyclones go up against every day in practice, and it may surprise you.
For the Iowa State women's basketball team, much of this season's success has been seen on the court. What you don't see is the work put in by the all-male practice team. The practice team consists of about 15 Iowa State students that match up physically, mentally, and competitively with the women. As part of the women's team, each practice player is NCAA certified and on the same eligibility list as any other Division I athlete. Iowa State head coach Bill Finley said the guys add a lot to the team.
It's not just, hey, I'm just going to show up today and play. There's stuff they have to do and make a commitment to do it that a lot of people wouldn't do. So we're lucky to have them. They're great guys, and without question, probably one of the best things we did here when we got here, and we're going to keep doing as long as the rules allow it.
Practice team player Josh Lenz says playing against the women's team is a lot more competitive than people would think.
We don't back down at all, or at least I don't. I mean, they're a lot more physical. a lot stronger than most people would think. And I mean, you really don't even realize it when you're playing.
Going into practice, the men learn the role of a player from the team's next opponent. Forwards Hallie Christofferson and Chelsea Poppins enjoy competing against the guys because it gives them a better sense of the competition ahead.
They always go hard, and they kind of have a different style of play than what girls do, and they're quicker, which helps when we get into the games. In a way, they're tougher than what playing against girls would be. So I mean, it's very beneficial just to play against people that can block your shot every time.
All the practice team players get out of being on the team is a pair of shoes and some practice gear, but it's the experience that makes it worthwhile.
Feels good, going into a practice knowing you're the star of the other team and whatnot, and they're counting on you. So it's a big responsibility, but it's definitely it's an experience. It's rewarding too as well.
There's no way we would have ever had the success we've had here without those guys. It would not have been possible.
With the Big 12 tournament approaching, the task of helping the team prepare is even greater for the practice squad. For ISU TV, I'm Mitch Gerber with Matt Van Winkle.
Coach Fennelly jokes that he has too many guys who want to join the scout team. He and his assistants can be found scouting intramural games and men's walk-on tryouts before the season. Due to injuries throughout the season, the Cyclone gymnastics team have had to rely on underclassmen, but the team's lone competing senior has led the group all season long.
Senior day for Lizzie Stranahan could not have been scripted any better than posting a career high for her all-around score with a 38.9 and defeating the number 12th ranked Minnesota Gophers. In that career high all-around score, Lizzie set a career high in the vault and uneven bars and tied her career best on the floor. In her career as a Cyclone, Lizzie was happy from going from one event in a meet to an all-around gymnast.
And then I'm just really proud of stepping up, coming from doing one event to becoming an all-arounder by my senior year. I'm really proud of that.
During her 4-year gymnastics career, Lizzie was thankful for what her coaches had done and for her teammates.
My team, I've been extremely lucky. We're like a family here. They take care of me. We take care of each other. My coaches, I wanted to get better, and they helped me get better and pulled in the end of that deal.
Coach Jay Ronayne believes Lizzie Stranahan's passion, hard work, and love for the sport is something that makes her a special person.
She reminds me why we do what we do. She reminds me that just to love this sport or any sport and to put your entire self into it wholly, it's very satisfying to be able to reap the rewards afterward. She's something special. That's very satisfying for me.
With the season coming closer to an end, Lizzie Stranahan has just one thing to say to everyone who has supported her throughout her career as a Cyclone gymnast.
Just thank you to everyone. Just thank you to everyone who's ever come out, everyone who's ever supported. We're extremely grateful to have the fans we do, and I'm extremely grateful to be a Cyclone in the journey I had.
With ISU TV Sports, I'm Alan Fidelki.
The Cyclone gymnasts head to Iowa City on Friday and to Los Angeles over the weekend. They return to Hilton for the Big 12 Championship on March 23rd. And that's all I've got for sports. Well, Sam, what's the weather looking like for the rest of the week?
Well, actually, I've got a treat for everybody because it looks like spring could possibly be on our way. At least the temps would sure indicate that. So stay tuned to Newswatch 18. Hey, everybody, it's good to see you back. This is meteorologist Sam Schreier. So, our story was that we had a winter storm push out of Iowa, and in came it some nice temps, especially towards the end of the week. Currently, right now, about 27 degrees. We're going to have a northwest wind at about 21 miles per hour. So it's okay outside, but it is a little cold. Our winter storm warnings have finally pushed out of Iowa. Mostly those are off over in Illinois now, parts of southern Wisconsin. Those will be expiring at about noon tomorrow afternoon. So your current temps around the state, mostly the mid-20s. Ames here is about 27 degrees. A little colder off to the north at Mason City. But your wind chill right now is actually what the real big story is. 13 degrees in Ames, and look at off to the west here, about 8 in Sioux City. So it's pretty cold, and we can relate that to the winds. They're pretty strong, about 20 miles per hour out of Ames, about 20 in Des Moines, and that's because of that big low pressure system that moved through. They tend to swing around to the northwest as they pass through. That's why we're going to be so cold, especially tonight. Tonight's low is about 15 degrees in Ames, and remember the wind is still going to be moving its way through the state, so the wind chills through the morning, just about when you wake up, could be quite low too as well. But your highs, this is actually kind of a treat because you do have about 29 degrees. We will start to see a general warm-up. We're going to be at about 33 in Des Moines too. So current clouds and radar, we have had that low push its way off to the eastern part of the state. A few flurries here just over Des Moines. Probably not even hitting the ground, though, really. So they're nothing to concern about, and we just have a big area of clouds over the state right now. And again, some of those flurries and more of our high-res map here show just over Ames and Des Moines, but they're breaking up, and most of them probably aren't even hitting the ground. Futurecast is going to lay out what we can expect for the next couple days here. Low pressure slides in, slides a big region of high pressure, and really it's all throughout most of the Midwest. This is about Wednesday afternoon. It really starts to slide through your area, and we do have some clouds break up, so it's going to be pretty sunny throughout Wednesday. Thursday, more of the same, mostly sunny. A few clouds want to work their way in, but a pretty nice day and even into Thursday. So tonight about 19 degrees and chance of flurries, and it's going to be a little cold. But tomorrow, a bit warmer, 34 with mostly sunny skies. And then as we take a look at your extended outlook, here's what I'm really excited about. Heading into the weekend, even though there's a shot of rain there, take a look at those temps, about 42. And especially, what a great Friday. There's not going to be a whole lot of clouds in your sky, and it's going to be really nice again, too. And that's all I've got for weather, so I'll send it back over to the desk.
For this edition of Newswatch 18, make sure to tune in Thursday night, at 8 for more news, weather, and sports.
Have a great night, Ames.
Teams second.